Well, good morning everyone. So, it's getting to that time of the year where our maize crop is almost ready. The stuff that's opposite my house here is, it's the neighbours, but they've taken the headland off the other day. They had to fill an order up, so they've done that, but the crop's actually a little bit green, so they haven't taken any more off. But what's going to happen is Darcy's going to pick me up soon and we are going to go and have a look at the crops over there. I'm going to throw a few questions at him that I have about the maize, but it's just going to be interesting to see how far away he thinks it is going to be from being ready, I guess. So I'm just here with Darcy. Darcy's the owner of Finches, who we get in to do all the cultivation and planting and stuff like that. And we're just going to throw a few questions at him maize wise. So pretty much, is the maize ready? It's looking pretty, well, it's getting that sort of yellowish tinge to it.
Well, yeah, we can go in and have a look. Really, it's it's a bit of a combination of what the plant looks like and what the cob looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I suppose another question too is like a lot of these plants here, because I have planted these, are at 90,000 to the hectare, so a little bit lower seed rate, but a lot of them have like double cobbed. And is it better having two cobs, or is it better having only one where they put all the energy into one big one, or like a two smaller ones beneficial?
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a controversial subject, but yeah, some people would say if you've got two cobs you probably haven't got enough plants per hectare, and one big cob per plant is better.
It's better, yeah.
And other people like to see two cobs a plant wherever possible, but yeah, I mean, I couldn't really answer that one.
But I suppose too, like another reason, would it have been better planting it like that 90,000 this year with that, well, we had that big dry period for sort of 45-50 days without any rain. Is it better planting a little bit lower so then your sort of plants get a little bit more moisture per plant? Yeah,
I mean, you'll help protect that grain yield a little bit by having lower population in dry conditions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should help the quality. Probably won't help the quantity, but should help the quality a little bit. You know, you're only talking a few percent here and there, really. But
yeah. Yep. Oh, so no major.
Yep.
All right, we'll go have a look, eh?
Starch content's what you're after in maize, really.
Yeah.
So that's all in the cob. This is pretty good, isn't it?
Like, what do you reckon, just like looking at it, like tonnage wise it'll go? Like, it's pretty tall crop, I reckon.
Yeah, and like you said, you've got two cobs there. The second one, you know, is nowhere near as good as the first one. In fact, that one there is pretty well aborted, because the plant's saying, well, you know, I've got to make one decent one. So that's the normal.
So that drought, pretty much, you reckon that's why sort of, I don't know, that one sort of died off a bit?
Yeah, it's not just drought. I mean, look, that plant hasn't really suffered too much. It's only really dropped a couple of bottom leaves down there, and she's pretty green. It's usually a lot to do with how much light it's seeing as well, and you know, it's reasonably dense in here, so plants will just go down to the one cob in response to light, just about as much as moisture.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, checking your maize, you just want to come into a area that's reasonably representative of your paddock.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we saw some quite dry stuff over by the gate.
Yeah.
But it's only 3 or 4 rows, you know, and often just a bit more weed competition or something like that on the outside, and a bit of
wind and more sunlight.
More wind. Often the outside can be a bit drier.
Yeah.
Conversely, if it's under trees along the edge, it can look quite a bit greener.
Yeah.
So you do need to walk in a few rows and get into a representative bit of your paddock to really make an assessment. You can't do it from
the outside.
50 k's going down the race on the motorbike.
and we would be probably in the middle of this paddock, like we wouldn't be far away from the dead middle, but yeah, it's a lot greener in here than I was thinking. Yeah, some of the hillsides would be a little bit browner, I reckon, but
so yeah, to assess where you're up to, really, you just want to have a bit of a look. like most of these husk covers are still reasonably green. They're just starting to go white. In most varieties, white husk covers is a reasonably good indication that it's getting pretty ready to harvest. In an ideal world, you want nice green plants, completely white husk covers, and then you'll look at where the grain's up to. So this is a pretty good cob. You know, longer than my hand, and you can't get your fingers around it. You know, it's a pretty good cob. And the best way of doing this is to just leave the cob on the plant and snap it in half, and then you can start to look for a bit of a milk line. I don't know whether you can see that there, but
yeah,
it's gone starchy on the end.
Yep.
But as you dig down in the kernel, we'll find there's just a little bit of milk squirting out there. You know, it's only really just sort of forming a milk line. You can't really see a defined line through here, but it has gone starchy probably a quarter of the way down, and then it gets a little bit milky after that. So you can just see that milk. Down there, you can see that milk squirting out. So, you know, this stuff's getting towards the stage where you'll start to be able to see that defined milk line on the kernel, and you know, it's probably still a good 10 days away from considering harvest, really.
Yep.
Given these are pretty green plants, you know, we've only got two bottom leaves dropped. I mean, a lot of plants around didn't come through in that good a condition. They might have dropped leaves right up to the cob before the rain came.
Yep.
So they're under a fair bit of stress, and yeah, they've brightened up a lot, but those leaves will never come back to life, and they'll get harvested a little bit earlier. If your plants dry right up to the cob, you probably only go to about half milk line.
Oh yeah.
If you've got pretty well a fully green plant like this, well, you'll want to be 3/4 milk line at least.
Yeah. Take it through a bit longer.
If not, almost no milk, you know.
Yeah. Good. I reckon it's a good crop. What do you reckon, like tonnage wise?
Yeah, well, I mean, if this is representative of it, then you're pretty firmly in the mid-20s.
Yeah.
In this sort of thing. I mean, they're pretty good cobs. I mean, this plant's, you know, that's the second cob. Here's the main one up here, and so, you know, it's you know, that's longer than my hand and still pretty fat. So, you know, and they're fairly consistent as you come along. These are just one to a plant, but a nosing back, which is probably just from the dry. So but most of them are reasonably full.
So what do you mean by that? See, like the tips of these cobs like haven't formed the kernels. So is that just it went under too much stress when because of lack of moisture when the cobs are forming, I guess, or trying to grow?
Yeah, it can be stress from a number of factors, but yeah, in this case, because of that dry period we had, you'd probably put it down to moisture.
Yeah.
So, you know, this plant, it's aborted that second cob because it was under stress, and then it hasn't quite filled that one. So, you know, you'd say the population probably about right.
Yeah, all right.
For the year.
Yeah, but
some of these are fairly, you know, they're pretty full. I mean, you quite often lose a few at the end like that anyway.
That's quite a good cob, eh? Like nice and long and.
Yep. But yeah, it's pretty good and consistent. So, you know, if this is representative, you're firmly in those mid-20s, I'd say.
Which is what I'm sort of aiming for, like that 25 tonne mark. Yep. Which, yeah, it's had no side dressing after being planted. So I'm pretty happy with that, I would think, yeah.
I'd rather see almost no milk in the kernels and fully green plants, and if you've got decent sized cobs and 2 to a plant in a lot of places, you're still going to have quite high dry matter. You could even be in the 40s.
Yeah.
But that's not a problem if you've got green plants.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all. In fact, you're maximising that starch per hectare, which is what you want to do with maize.
Oh yeah.
And you're not really compromising digestibility unless the plant's browning off. So while the plant's green,
Keep going.
keep growing starch.
And I mean, like, there is sort of rain on the forecast again for next week, so, or over the next couple of days. So if we did get a little bit more, it's probably just better to take these through to try and get as much as you can out of that milk line.
Yeah, I'd say you definitely won't be harvesting next week. It'll be maybe the week after.
Yeah, all right. Oh, that's cool. Good to know.
Yep.
That's where it's at. Just come over to the second paddock. So this was done with that
Twin row.
Yeah, the twin row planter.
Twin row planter.
Yeah, still that 90,000, but still green though. Like, still take it, like, it's only really dropped the bottom leaf.
And I mean, if we look at one of these cobs, then you can see a bit more of a milk line on those. You can see that change in colour between there and there. You can still get a bit of milk out of the lower part of that. Just showing a bit more of that colour, but I mean those other ones up there will show that pretty rapidly in the next week.
Yeah, go to that.
Just the stage it's up to.
But like you're saying, take these through to, well, they're still real green plants, so yeah. These might even go through to full by the time those other they come down to 3/4 or whatever.
Yep, that's right.
But I don't know, should be good enough crop hopefully.
No, I think it's going to be a pretty good quality crop with this amount of green leaf and being able to take those cobs right through.
Yeah.
You'll maximise the quality.
It stacks real well too, eh, when it's green.
Yeah.
It packs down real nice. A couple of years ago we had a real big drought and everything just went brown and soft and so spongy, like you can't pack it down on the stack real well.
Yep.
Just fluffy.
Chop it a bit shorter in that situation and try and get it compact.
Yep, and I've got a little bit more maize than last year, which so I need to try and stack it in as much as we can get.
You're squashed for space, are you?
Yeah, a little bit. We usually do 4 or 5 hectares and I've done 6 this year. Plus I'm buying a hectare off Darcy too, so.
So I suppose you'll want that late so you can fit it in somewhere.
Yep, those real late paddocks you planted.
Yep. We've got one of those in mind.
Yes, well that's what I had in mind too. Well, that's what I was hoping anyway.
Yep.
Well, Darcy's here, I was just asking him, because this hillside just, nothing really grows on it, it's always brown. So, full of summer grass, or whether I just, what's that? Ooh, yucky. So whether I just re-drill it or spray it out and then drill it. I could spray it because it's not like the cows eat that much up this end anyway. But I'm just having a look through the soil to see if there's any little bugs pop up.
Just that one.
Just that one, grass grub.
Yeah, well it's which isn't a high count for that area of soil.
No.
Plenty of little worms.
So like that's your typical summer grass there, which isn't what you want. But it's the only thing that really grows green when you go dry, so it's kind of nice to look at. Oh, there's another one there.
Oh, yeah. Black beetle or grass grub.
Is that grass grub? Would be, wouldn't it? Or it might be a beetle.
Yeah, I think that one is grass grub, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have to get the book out.
That was good that Darcy came and had a look. Good of you to give up a bit of your time. It is a busy season at the moment. How many choppers are you running through maize?
We'll have 4 out there. So yeah, they take a few
4 chopping crews?
A few vehicles to keep up with them.
Yeah, Darcy just bought a brand new 970 too.
Yeah, that's going pretty well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing wrong. Nothing happened yet.
Keeping James Coulter, the cream cutter, pretty happy.
Hopefully we might see it here, but probably not. Probably not.
Yep.
And along with all the chopping crews, you also do all your own regrassing. Well, I said if we get to 20,000 subscribers, Darcy will take us around his yard, and I'll show you all that. So it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of gear over there. How many people do you employ? Probably 30, 35?
Yeah, I lose count, but yeah, 35 to 40 through Maize. So yeah, there's a bit going on.
A lot of guys floating around, and then he's got a couple of dairy farms. So, or they're actually our neighbour just over the road there, which is pretty handy. That's Darcy's dog Ralph, and Ralph's only got 3 legs. Now he did originally have 4, but why is that, Darcy?
He likes to chase things around maize paddocks, and that's not very compatible with harvesting sometimes. So he got a bit close to the harvester one day, and we had a quick trip to the vet, holding his leg so he didn't bleed out. But
yeah, Darcy was driving, and now he's only got 3, which doesn't hold him back.
Yep.
I'm just going to get some advice, because just getting a little bit of wastage on the silage pit here. Like it's just a bit black along the edge because it stinks.
Yeah, do you put plastic over here first?
No, but I was going to.
Yeah.
I was going to use the offcuts that I've got.
Yeah.
And maybe put it like down, or drop it down to the bottom, and then
Yeah.
just fold it back over.
Yeah, which will help stop that moisture getting down there, and it's very hard to get it compact right to there. But
Yeah, especially with
nothing over the.
no edge over the side, you don't really want to fall off there in the tractor.
So a bit of a combination of both things.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure that gets filled right to the edge. If they fill it up to the edge first while they're leaning away, then it's a little bit easier, and
Yeah.
they get it a bit more compact there. But yeah, certainly enveloping it by having the plastic sheet over here and pulling it back before you put the top sheet on. Certainly will help with the air seal along that side.
Yeah, which is what a lot of guys have actually said on YouTube. But I want to get it real high, because I got so much maize coming in and not a lot of space. Like I want to try and get it bunned as high as possible, but is that bit of.
Well, that'll help with that sinkage, but you'll probably end up with a little bit going over the side there.
Yeah.
To do that,
Which can't be helped sometimes.
Yep, that's right.
But I don't know, how high can you get it in here? If it's green though, it should pack down nice.
If you fill in that with dirt someday, you won't have to throw your tyres up as far either. So.
No.
And then you've got a bit of a flatter area, and if the stack finishes here or here or here, it doesn't matter too much.
No.
And you get away from that point where it's hard to get it compact right next to the wall.
Yeah. I wish these side panels were a little bit higher, but can't do much about that now. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was pretty sort of interesting, but there wasn't a lot of stuff happening today. But it was cool to get that second opinion and sort of ask them a few questions which I couldn't answer myself, so hopefully it might have helped some of you guys out too. Real cool, or real assuring to know that it's probably about that 10-day mark away from being harvested. I was sort of thinking 10 to 14 days, which would take it through to about the end of February, sort of start of March. And yeah, there's quite a bit of maize coming in this year, so I've got heaps left behind me here, probably about a month's worth. So I'm going to have to do, whether I get finches in to shift it or try and shift it myself. But what I'm going to do with all the leftover stuff is probably layer it over in the other pit, or the other bunker over there, layer it on the bottom, and then I'll just slowly use it for the rest of the season, or mix it with some of the new stuff that comes in. But like I said, it's good to know where I'm at. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. And apart from that, see you next time.